This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Sure to read them throughout the show. Back to you, Sister Macy.
Welcome back to another episode of Explore Mountain States.
That's it for the weather update.
Moving on to our district news update.
Only here
on INCRadio Mountain States.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I am super excited to be here with you guys today on this lovely Saturday because today we are going to be joined by none other than somebody with very high credentials. I'm very excited to introduce him later, but I'm super excited to be your host today. My name is Jordan. I'm super excited to be back with all of you, and I will be your host, but I'm not alone. I have two lovely crew members here with me today, Sister Mylene and Sister Nikki. Hello.
Hi, Jordan.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Sister Jordan. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. It honestly feels like I never left. As soon as the banner played and I heard the little drum, I was like, ooh, this feels like home. So I'm very glad to be back with you guys and interacting with all of you guys down below in our live chat. Alrighty, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm super excited to go over our topic today, which is boosting our immunity for the cooler weather. If you couldn't already tell by my voice, this is very timely, especially for me. So I will also be learning along with you guys in our live chat today. Alrighty, so today who we have with us is a brother who is in internal medicine. He is a board certified and he is a primary care physician for the University Medical Center in Southern Nevada. Here with us today, we have Brother Ferdinand Tan. Let's give a warm welcome. Hello, Brother Ferdinand.
Hello, Sister Jusila,
hello.
And good day to everyone, to all the listeners of INCRadio. I'm privileged and happy to guest in today's topic for boosting our immune system during this cold weather.
Yes. You know, as he talks about cold weather, it is still so hot here in Arizona. I'm sure it is still pretty warm over there in Las Vegas, where all of you guys are at online today. But I'm very excited as the weather gets cooler. So let's help us prepare. Alrighty, let's jump in, Brother Ferdy. So our first question that we have for you today is, can cold weather itself make you sick?
The answer on that one is partly true and partly the circumstances with regards to the cold weather. We have to understand first and foremost what really happens during cold weather. In cold weather, what happens is that we tend to lose more heat than we actually produce. So during cold weather, basically, we can easily go down to lower down our core temperature, especially if we are not really properly bundled up. And during cold weather, our arteries stiffen up, and then the blood flow usually slows down because usually it becomes more viscous. So there is an increased workload in the heart, and then the blood flow in our brain also decrease. So we tend to not really think properly during cold weather. And so those are the physiologic circumstances that happens during the cold weather. Now, the circumstances also is that during cold weather, we tend to stay inside. So what happened during cold weather is that because of the cold air stays lower compared to the warmer air, so whenever somebody is sick, it's easier to really spread those particular virus, especially with droplets spread of infections compared to like during warm weather. So you combine this all things that you are staying inside most of the time, and then the circulations of air probably stays lower, and then you have a decrease. Your body basically are exerting more effort, so you have all these reasons to really get more sick during cold weather.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your insight, Brother Ferdinand. It's not cold, but I'm still sick. So I'm excited to learn why I am like this, even though it's not cold yet. Alrighty. So hopefully you guys took note of that. Let's continue to learn. All right, Brother Ferdinand, what might make us more susceptible to illness during the cooler season?
So what we notice basically during the cooler season is that, like what I mentioned a while ago, that because of all those particular circumstances, we notice that there is more prevalence of the viruses during the colder season, and that's a well-known fact. So that's why, as early as September this month and October, we tend to we really strongly recommend that everybody needs to be vaccinated, especially with flu and with the newer one now, which is the COVID-19. And of course, with the elderly people, we also recommend the RSV. So uh, those are the reasons, because of the fact that we see more prevalence of all those viral infection during the cooler seasons. So that's why we are recommending an aggressive vaccinations during this before we start the what we call a flu season or a virus season.
So flu and virus season is usually in the cold weather, and we have tried and true facts per our lovely PCP. Okay, so let's continue to learn. How can we boost our immune system to prepare for the weather change? I know a lot of us get sick as soon as like the weather starts shifting.
So boosting our immune system during cold weather is the same thing as boosting our immune system all year round. So we are encouraged to eat a well-balanced diet, especially eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, whole grains and then lean protein, healthy fats. So not all fats are bad for you. So, and then focus the foods that are rich in multivitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, selenium. Those are the ones that we recommend. So first, the diet, a well-balanced diet is what we recommend. And then getting enough sleep. Nowadays, we wanted to emphasize that getting enough sleep also plays an important role in our immune system, because people who are having less amount of sleep tend to get more sick. And then even during cold season, we really need to be staying hydrated. It's not only during summer that we tend to lose or sweat a lot. During cold season also, or during cooler weather, we need to really also stay well hydrated, drinking plenty of water, because we sometimes during cold season, especially the elderly, they don't really want to drink enough water because they don't want to be peeing a lot, especially when they go out. They tend to hold drinking water. Oh, I don't want to be drinking a lot of water because I don't want to be going to the bathroom frequently, especially when you go out, when they go out. So that is a little bit of disadvantage to them, because of course, if you're not well hydrated, there's a lot of things can go wrong in your body. Then, of course, managing stress. Oh, we have known in science and medicine that people who are more stressed have lower immune systems. So we really need to manage our stress in our life in order to also increase our immune system. Then during the pandemic, we have realized the importance of hand washing. Hand washing is definitely like even in the medical field, it's strongly emphasized. That's the number one infection control in the hospital, in the primary care clinic. Hand washing. We the providers, the doctors, or um, any persons who are providing care to the patients strongly encourage before you even touch, before and after you touch a patient, you have to do hand washing, because that's the number one um, ways to prevent spread of infection, hand washing. Then and then, of course, I mentioned a while ago the encouragement of vaccinations. So this year, before, or it's already started actually, that because in June of this year, June 27, the CDC recommended and updated recommendations for the COVID-19 and for the influenza. They recommended that everyone, let me emphasize this again, everyone that are 6 months and older, even though you have received vaccination in the past of influenza or flu or COVID-19. So regardless whether you receive it or not in the past, should get an updated vaccination for the two of them, for the flu and for the COVID-19. I'll give you the data. Last year, 2023, for the COVID-19, there are at least 900,000 people who get hospitalized or get sick because of COVID-19. And out of that 900,000, there are at least around 80,000 who died because of the COVID-19. So it's still presence. It's still going around the COVID-19. There's some bursts of outbreak every now and then. We can hear it from the news that there are some outbreak here and there. Even on the last Olympics, some of our U.S. athletes got infected with COVID-19, and then they are contender for that 200-meter dash, and they were not able to play that particular heat because of the COVID-19. Now, for the flu, that's still one of the things that we are trying to prevent. That last year we have like almost like 40,000 deaths because of flu complications. So those two, we are really strongly recommended that people gets vaccinated, so that number one is to prevent complications, especially death. And then for COVID-19, we are all aware of the chronic long-term effect of post-COVID infections. There are some people after having COVID, they feel tired persistently, they feel short of breath, they feel like fatigue or low energy, post-COVID depression, post-COVID palpitations. There's a myriad of complications after they got this COVID-19. Even some professionals like nurses or providers, they used to be able to do multitasking before, but after having a COVID, they lose all those particular talents, and they need to start from zero again and try to learn those skills again after having those COVID infection. And
All right.
then, oh, you,
Go ahead po, Doc Ferdy. Go
you
ahead
want me
po.
to? Good. And then, of course, for us, Iglesia ni Cristo, we well, it's we are not allowed to drink alcohol, but in some people who are drinking alcohol or having drinking a lot of or eating a lot of sugars, those can really put you at a disadvantage, because alcohol can damage your immune system, and then sugar can affect the white cell count of your body. So you're not really, especially like those diabetic who have high sugar all the time, they are very prone to infections when they have high sugar, because it slows down the actions of their white cell count. The white cell count, or the white cells, are the one that really fights infections when you get like a virus or bacterial infections. And lastly, for the for diet, well, we all know that there are certain kind of polyphenols that can really help our immune system, especially those what we call catechins. So catechins are a bunch of polyphenols that helps our body get rid of oxygen radicals, And the diets or the food that are really high on catechins are the green tea, like the matcha, and they can also be found in certain supplement like cacao and some other fruits. So those are the things that we can do in really to improve our immune system po.
All right, but thank you po again, Doc Ferdy. Very informative. So I hope, brethren, all of you that are listening are taking notes because this is very important. Although here in our areas, we're most likely still in the hot weather. Again, we're getting ready for the cooler weather. So just to list down everything that Doc Ferdy has mentioned, make sure your vaccines are updated, whether it's COVID, RSV, or flu vaccines. Again, he also mentioned that, I'm kind of like guilty of this, drinking like, pretty sweet or sugary foods maybe, or drinks. Like for me, when I drink boba or coffee all the time, maybe I should, you know, maybe slow it down a bit. And of course, managing your stress as well also, you know, helps with getting you sick a lot faster. So make sure you're getting enough rest, a lot of sleep whenever you can. I also noticed that when I switched to day shift from night shift, I'm getting lesser sleep. So I am more prone to, like, getting a few colds here and there. But Doc Ferdy, just listening from our live chats, one question did we did notice about the flu vaccine. So, there's a lot of questions about people, a lot of hesitations as well, if they should get the flu vaccine or the COVID vaccine, because a lot of people, there's a myth that, it might make you more sick. So, what's your thoughts on that, Paul? Based on your experience, Paul, like what should we do? Should we believe it, or should we get the flu vaccine and the COVID vaccine, Paul?
First of all, you can have the COVID vaccine and flu vaccine at the same time. So you can have both at the same time. So that's one, because there's no significant difference between getting it separately. So you can have it at the same time. Second, what is the benefits? We have seen the benefits of the vaccinations from all the data that we have in the past, especially from the flu vaccine. We've been doing this one yearly, and we have seen the reductions in terms of mortality and morbidity. Mortality meaning like the deaths. We are able to decrease the deaths of the people who died from complications from the flu, and from morbidity meaning like complications like getting hospitalized from secondary infection from flu. So those are already like from the data that we have accumulated over the course of years. Now I would be honest with all the listeners. Yes, there are some rare instances that patients or people can get some reactions to those vaccine. It can be an allergic reactions, which definitely strongly contraindicated. If you have an allergic reactions to it, we don't recommend for you to have it. That's one. Now, the reactions can also really be you can have some flu symptoms for one day. Yes, that happens, po. So I would be straight to you, like, yes, you can have that mild symptoms of flu, or what we call a flu-like symptoms. Yes, you can have that one. Some of my coworkers even have some low-grade fever. You can also have that one, po. But we are taking all this particular into the consideration that you suffer a little bit, but at the same time you are getting protection. So um, we wanted to. It's not everything is straightforward in science. Not like, hey, this is what you will not have this one. You will not have no. We are dealing with risks basically. And then if you are willing to take a little bit of the side effects, meaning a low grade fever, which happen very few and very rare, not everybody will really have it. And because they are obligated to report it out of 1,000, maybe like around five or 1% or something like that, or even as much as 5% can have those. So But everyone is really entitled to weigh the risks and benefits of all these possible side effects of the vaccine.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that, Doc Ferdy. So, at the end, hopefully, we answered your questions. And anyone who is curious still to know, we have a very knowledgeable doctor on hand right here. So, again, if you have like some easy questions that are commonly, um, asked within the colder weather, within the colds or the flu, feel free to ask them down. But today we are actually gonna debunk some myths while we have our Doc Ferdy right here. So, to give him a little bit of a break, we'll go ahead and read some of our comments in the live chat. Starting for our very first commenter for today, our District Minister, Brother Marlon Balasam. Good day to MTS INC Radio crew and to all the brethren. Sister Donna Grace Palisa. Good afternoon, MTS brethren, Salt Lake City. Sister Norma Sonson also says hi. Hello po brothers and sisters. Hashtag SLV. Brother Andrew Wynn, joyous viewing from the local congregation of High Point in the ecclesiastical district of hashtag Virginia. Brother Mario Oka, good morning here in the Philippines and stay safe, brethren. Greetings from local of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North. We also have Sister Shay Chavez in there, says hello po to everyone. Hashtag Las Vegas. Sister Kaylin, happy Saturday po. Hashtag Salt Lake City. Brother Brandon Debu, happy watching to all brethren in MTS district and all over the world. We also have Sister Lorraine. Mommy Mylene, hello po, watching from District of Virginia. And we also have a couple more comments right here. So we'll see them later on as well. But Sister Jordan, let's go ahead and actually start debunking these myths as we go on with our knowledge with getting ready for the cooler weather.
Yes, I'm super excited to be debunking some myths with you guys because we kind of just debunked one, right, with our vaccines, whether or not we should get them and whether or not it makes you sick. Therefore, convincing people not to take them. But I do have one more question. So, keeping the people on the edge of their seats with these myths. Brother Ferdy, people are asking, or Sister Donna Grace is asking, what COVID vaccine do you recommend? Or is there any brand maybe, because each one has different MOA? Don't know what that means, but there you go.
The one that is available right now for the COVID vaccine are still like the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Novavax. So they are all equally effective. There's really no particular one that is more advantageous than the other one. I myself, initially, I have 4 doses of Pfizer, but when I get my last booster, I think I got a Moderna vaccine. But this was a long time ago. This year, I haven't really got my updated COVID vaccine so far. So I'm guilty of not getting the updated vaccine also. So, but I'll get it this year.
There we go. Accountability at its finest. Thank you, Dr. Ferdy, for sharing that. But now we know that the compatibility between all the vaccines are that they are compatible and that you can take a different for the booster compared to the first time you got your vaccine. So I hope that helps answer your question, Sister Donna. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and debunk some myths about your immunity and how we can better take care of ourselves. All right, myth number 1, cold weather causes colds and the flu. True or false, Brother Fetty?
It. What is the question again? I think.
The myth is, does cold weather cause cold and the flu?
It's we are debunking that one definitely. So the cold weather is not itself is the one that is causing the flu, but it's actually the virus itself.
Thank you, Brother Ferdy. So yes, it is a fact. The cold itself doesn't make you sick, but colds and flu are caused by viruses. However, people tend to stay indoors more during cold weather, increasing close contact with others, which of course can spread viruses more easily. Alrighty, myth number 2, and I will do this one better. um, it is being outside in the cold without a jacket will make you sick. Is that fact or false? I would like to hear Brother Ferdy's intake first.
Let's qualify that one. If you're outside naked, yes, it's gonna make you sick. If you're not properly insulated, yeah, it's gonna make you sick. If you're going outside without really having the proper clothing, yes, it's gonna make you sick. Like what I mentioned a while ago, like during cold weather, we tend to lose more heat than we actually produce in our body. So uh, proper insulation during cold weather definitely is what we recommend. If you want, what we always recommend, you layer up basically. So you layer up, you wear multiple layers, and then when you're feeling like warm, you just remove one layer after another. So just to be prepared, especially the one that are elderly, or the one that are immunocompromised, the one having multiple chronic medical problems, the one that has been known to have some uh, chronic illnesses, they really need to layer up and have proper insulations. You don't want to take chances. You try to check the weather before you go out, and basically just and what we always say, an ounce of preventions is a pound of cure, basically.
Thank you, Brother Ferdy. So yes, staying insulated, because fact, exposure to cold temperatures alone doesn't cause illness. However, prolonged exposure to the cold can weaken our immune system, making it harder for your body to fight off viruses. I accidentally skipped one. So another myth moving forward, we don't need to hydrate as much in the cool weather. What do you think, Brother Ferdy?
It's a myth, like what you mentioned. It's we really need to be hydrated. Maybe we don't really need much hydration compared when we're sweating a lot during the summertime or warmer, but we still needs to have adequate hydration during cold weather.
Yes, hydration is important always, all the time. But fact, even in colder weather, it is important to stay hydrated. The body's need for water remains constant regardless of the temperature, and cold weather can actually increase water loss through respiration due to dry air and other activities. Sister Nikki, do you want to go ahead and help me bust some other myths?
Yes, I got you, Sister Jordan. Go ahead and take a break right there. Drink some water and hydrate. But yeah, thank you so much for debunking some of these myths, Dr. Ferdy. So we'll go ahead and move forward po. The fourth one, I believe, or the third, no, fourth one. Oh, fourth, yes, is you don't need to wear sunscreen in the winter. Is it a myth or is it true?
It is a myth, definitely. Sun is present all the time, whether it's summer or winter. So you you we need UV protection all year long. So especially if you want a fair skin and you don't want your skin to wrinkle quickly or easily, you wanted to avoid those wrinkles in your face or
Mhm.
having the chance of developing a skin cancer. Yes, try to wear uh, uh, sunscreen all the time, especially when you're staying out in the sun for a long period of time, po, even
I
in cold weather.
Yes, I completely agree with that. But me myself too, I try to remind myself as much as possible. I try to wear sunscreen every day. But fact, because like what Dr. Ferdy said, UV rays can still damage your skin even in the winter. Snow can also reflect UV rays, increasing your exposure. So it's important to continue using sunscreen on exposed skin all year round. And again, we're lucky because, these days there's a lot of reminders about taking care of our skin now. We're more informed, especially with taking care of our skin, so it's one of the things that we can easily forget. So it's also one of the things that we can easily do to help and protect ourselves as well. So
And
moving on, go ahead,
Sister
Dr.
Lydia,
D.
I can just add more. And nowadays, we have a lot of choices and options with regards to our sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Before, in the past, we have a limited options that most of the sunscreen that we use in the past can easily sting our eyes. And that's one of the problems that we have in the past. Like, it's sting our eyes when we use those old
Mm-hmm.
sunscreen or the one that are made here in the United States. But nowadays, with all these K-pops and uh, Korean
Korean
influence,
sunscreen, Asian
Korean
sunscreen po,
Korean
right?
skincare. Like we have more options now, and I myself I was able to try it, and then less sting in the eyes, and I've been using those Korean sunscreen also, and I was able to have more compliance to it compared to like when you're using the old products that are made here in the United States. So especially when I play pickleball outside during the daytime, I use those sunscreen definitely.
All right, there you go. From the doctor himself. We have a lot of options available online and in stores. I myself also, I've seen powder sunscreen, spray or mist sunscreens, and some of the sunscreen now are like, less thick, because we know that most of mainly the reason why we don't like putting on sunscreen is because it's super thick and gives us, that extra white cast. But now there's a lot of options available in the market. So again, all of these other information are readily available for us in the internet. So just do your research and use what is, more likely is compatible with your skin. Moving forward, we have four more myths to debunk, Doc Ferdy. So the next one is, if you're sick, you should avoid exercising. Is that true or false?
Well, this is correct because one of the things that we mention or recommend as a provider, as a doctor, is like if you're sick, have an adequate rest, and basically, and rest can really helps a lot with regards to recovery, and now especially like. If you are avoiding strenuous exercise, definitely that's going to help you a lot. Now, regular walking still is not a contraindications, and can be says that those are allowed, those are okay, but resting definitely when you are sick is recommended.
Yes, definitely agree on that. So, just a little bit more information to add on with what Dr. Ferdy said. Moderate exercise can actually boost your immune system. However, if you have symptoms below the neck, like chest congestion or fever, or even shortness of breath, then obviously you might want to just take a rest because you don't want to exacerbate it even more. So, it's best for you to rest and recover again. Um, you know, Watch your symptoms and try to manage it as well. This one I actually am very curious to know. This next myth is, wet hair or clothes will make you sick. Is that true or false, po?
Um, so
Specifically
far,
sleeping, sleeping with
I
wet
haven't
hair.
really
Oh,
experienced
I
this
guess
one, but
I guess
our
you asked
female
it a little too broad,
actually
po, no?
is
It's a
and then
little vague. So, Ate
uh,
Mylene, if you can just agree with me here, this is mainly if maybe you're
this
going
is
to
for our
bed
female.
or
Yeah. You remember back in the days, brother Freddie, they don't want us to go to bed with wet hair.
wet hair.
That's
We
right.
will
Yes.
That's
we
right.
will wake up sick. So I'm not sure. Is this a myth or is this a fact?
We still don't have any like uh, by maybe by experience, it's a fact. Basically, it can make you sick if you sleep with a wet hair, basically. But I don't know if it applies to everyone, so we haven't really done any good study on that one. So maybe it's more like what is the experience of anyone when sleeping with a wet hair. But of course, if you go outside with a wet hair, basically in a cold weather, it tends to make you feel colder, definitely. That's why, like in athletes, or when they're or during in certain places, like where there's a lot of snow, when their socks or when their shoes are wet, they tend to remove their socks, right? Because it can cause those wet shoes or wet socks can give them more like frost bites compared to like when it's dry.
All right. Again, I am very guilty of this because I always sleep with my wet hair. So it really depends too, But to add more to that again, while walking around with wet hair clothes, like what Brother Ferdy said, can make you feel colder, it doesn't directly cause illness. However, it's always a good idea to stay warm and dry to avoid other issues like hypothermia or, when your body's temperature is very low because you're very cold. So, again, I think it's just like common sense, If you're in the cold, then obviously you want to make sure you're getting ready for what's about to come outside, Bundle up again, like what Doc Ferdy said, you don't want to be going out there naked in the cold weather. So make sure you layer up, especially right now that we're talking about getting ready for the cooler weather. All right, next one here we have vitamin C prevents colds. So is that true po or false?
We don't have any strong data to support that vitamin C can prevent colds. So, although yes, they have done some research that it can improve or support your immune system, but with regards to cause and effect, we don't have any enough data to support it. And some in some of the study that they have done, it's actually doesn't really affect at all.
That's a
Right.
surprising fact.
Yes.
I
'Cause-
remember back in the Philippines, right, when we were young,
Mhm.
um, every time we get cold or fever, they will make us all the,
All
sour
kinds of vitamin C's.
yeah, all kind of vitamin C overdoses with vitamin C to, help us feel better. But thank you, Doc, for that fact. Now we
Yes.
know. The more
Thanks
we
for
know.
Thanks for confirming. Again, vitamin C can help support your immune system, but it doesn't necessarily, help treat our cold or prevent it as well. So it may, however, reduce the severity of and duration of symptoms if you get sick. Again, because it helps support your immune system. And last but not the least, Sister Jordan, you wanna close out our myth debunking here?
Sure, I am so excited to debunk our last myth with our doctor here with us today. Alrighty, it is, it is cold triggers pain. Is that true, Brother Verde?
Let's examine what happened during cold weather, like what I mentioned a while ago. Cold weather can make your joint more stiff, and when there's more stiffness, it's harder to move. And when you move it, then a stiff joint can cause pain. So that's probably what people are experiencing, and that's one of the reasons why some of my patients who are living in the north, like in Wisconsin, in Detroit, or Chicago, they tend to move to cooler states like Nevada or Florida because of that particular one. Because during the cold weather, like especially those patients that have hardware in their spine, or even patients that have previous surgery from their scar during cold weather, or even from patients who have a open heart they still have those wire screw on their chest. During cold weather, they were gonna experience those pain. So yes, those. So it depends on the people or on the patient itself. If they have underlying joint problems or if they have previous surgery, yes, it can cause or triggers pain.
Ah, thank you so much, Dr. Ferdy. And I think my own dad can actually attest because we're actually from, little fun fact, from Virginia, in the East Coast. And so in the East Coast, it gets a lot more colder than over here in Arizona, obviously. And so he has arthritis. And because of his arthritis, he decided to move here to the desert, the very, very hot desert, which from the information from what our doctor here was saying, the cooler weather can, release or relieve that stiffness that heavy cold weather can bring to your body. So here I am, desert living because of my father. So because he moved here like when I was only 2 years old. So just a little fun fact there. But that is our last myth of the day. So I hope we were all able to learn something new from our myths and from the tips that we learned earlier from nutrition, supplements, hygiene, sleep, and daily activities and exercise. This is also a great time to ask yourself, have you been getting enough rest? Have you been, preparing yourself to get into this upcoming cold weather? Have I had enough rest? No, clearly not. So I have definitely learned a lot of new things today and things that I will be holding myself accountable for because I'm learning all these new things, like taking all these supplements, like Brother Freddie was mentioning, vitamin C, zinc. And I have all of that in my back pocket, but is it helping me? No, because I haven't been getting enough rest. So maybe you guys are applying yourself to specific things, like specific tips that he's been telling you, but you're really lacking in the one thing that's super important, like rest and recover, right? So I hope that we've all continued to learn and held ourselves accountable and wrote stuff down that we need to do better at. I'm really excited to learn, or I'm really excited to hear what you guys have had to say. So with all of this myth debunking and everything, Sister Nikki, can you please help me read what our viewers have been saying as well?
Yes, Sister Jordan. I'm actually just scrolling through our comments right here. I believe we have some comments here from Sister Ina watching from work. Hashtag Las Vegas. Thank you, po, Doc Ferdy. We also have a lot of comments from Brother Andrew. He's very, he's very much interacting with us in the live chat. So shout out to you, Brother Andrew. Thank you, po, for tuning in. We also have Sister Donna. She said, "Don't forget your flu vaccine, brethren." Hashtag Salt Lake City. We also have here Brother Ron. They're in the live chat. He said, "Hello, team and viewers. Left my post from behind the scenes and the heat of Las Vegas today and tuning in from the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington. It's much cooler up in here. Enjoy po. Safe travels there as well." We also have Sister Rami Mendoza from Henderson. Happy Saturday po to everyone. Good afternoon po to our host, hashtag Henderson. We also have Brother Justin Ramos in the comments. Good afternoon, brethren. Thank you, MTS INC Radio, for another awesome episode, hashtag Gilbert. We also have a lot more comments right here, real quick. Sister Christine Ndoy, thank you, MTS INC Radio, for the very informative episode, hashtag Gilbert. And I believe there are some questions that are left here. Do we have enough time, Sister Mylene, to kind of just speak these questions a little bit right here?
Yeah, I think so. We can have few. The final takeaway, final tips from Brother Freddie. At least now we know that these are we have a better logic in combating flu or preparing our body, our immune system to the colder weather. Thank you so much for all the insights, Doc.
Yes.
Thank you, po.
All right. So I think I have just one last clarification right here po in the comments, Doc Ferdy. It's from Sister Donna. She said, regarding COVID vaccine po, is there a new data po about myocarditis as a long-term complication for COVID?
It's still ongoing po. We don't have any new data with regards because the what we notice now, of course, there is a less incidence of COVID. So and we are already able to significantly reduce the number of people who are having COVID. So, um, but the studies are still ongoing. Unfortunately. There are some limitations on what we can study on uh, during the midst of COVID the pandemic. There's a lot of studies that we are able to do, but unfortunately, we still not able to really come up with a conclusive evidence with regards to like what are the things that we can do in order to help patients that are having post-COVID myocarditis or post-COVID cardiomyopathy po. So I think that's what Sister Donna is trying to mention po. Even with some other post long-term COVID side effect or what we call a post-COVID syndrome, we call it COVID syndrome because there are myriads of long-term side effect of COVID that are we're still seeing from our patients, and unfortunately, at this time, we don't have any data to really uh, support or mention that to cure all those side effects po.
All right. Thank you so much, po, for clarifying that, Doc Ferdy. Again, Sister Donna, we hope that we have answered your question right there. And then just to wrap our discussion here, po, Doc Ferdy, again, very common, po, we forget to, like, rest and recovery, again, how important it is when we're sick or even just when giving ourselves a break. So are there any adjustments, po, that we should make to make our sleeping habits more effective in giving our bodies a good rest po?
With regards to sleep, if we are setting an alarm to wake up, one of the brothers have told me about this one. We should set an alarm to sleep also, basically. So in order to remind us, hey, it's time to sleep. So I myself is guilty about that one, that I'm not sleeping on the right time. So we are still recommending 8 hours of sleep. If we are getting less 8 hours of sleep, then we are not really getting the full benefits of sleep because we need to have a full cycle of sleep, the what we call a REM sleep or stage 4 sleep, because the benefits of sleep is that it's only not physically renewing our energy but also mentally and emotionally, and there's like other things that can be renewed during sleep, not only physical renewal but also mental and emotional. Imagine that during the sleep we reset our mind, everything is back to zero because the past, the present, and the future all get mixed up in our brain during our sleep. So we get like a reset, an actual reset, so that we can have a fresh, new thoughts in the morning. That's for the mental one. And then for the emotional one, they have done some good study that the REM sleep or the rapid eyes movement sleep, that's one of the things that can make us more emotionally stable in the future if we are having a good REM sleep. So in order to have a good REM sleep, we have to have a continuous sleep, a minimum of 4 hours po. So we really recommend like so everybody's different po. So we recommend between 6 to 9 hours, but the average one is like 8 hours po.
All
And
right. So
then the
again,
rest,
oh,
oh,
go ahead po.
and then the rest is like aside from enough sleep, the rest, management of stress po, then the update of the vaccination with regards to flu, with regards to COVID, and with regards to RSV, and then well-balanced diet, of course. That's true and tested, known facts for boosting our immune system. A well-balanced diet that are concentrated on fruits and vegetable po, less on alcohol or no alcohol at all. Of course, for us, Iglesia ni Cristo, no alcohol so far, less carbs, more on the lean protein, more on good fats. So there are some good fats out there, like those fats that we get from fish, from fatty fish. Those are recommended po. And then that's it.
All right. I hope, brethren, you had your little notepads in there for final, advice and tips from Doc Ferdy and boosting our immunity for our cooler weather. Again, thank you so much, po, Doc Ferdy, for helping us debunk some of these myths and giving us more information and how we can get ready, po, for the cool weather. So, of course, we cannot have you leave without giving your shout outs or greetings spot to your family and friends. Now is the time po. Go ahead. If you have any shout outs and greetings spot, Doc Ferdy, you can go ahead po.
I'm sending my greetings to my mom in the Philippines and to my brothers and sisters in the Philippines, also to my lovely wife, Ruby. Without her, basically, I'm going to be more emotionally unstable, of course.
Aww.
And to my son and daughter in Reno, Bea and Basili. And of course, to my other two kids here, Bianca and Verel, and to all the listeners of INC Radio of Mountain States. We wish that you continue to support our program and learn a lot with regards to health, with regards to the life, and tips on everyday life that we have here in this world. That's what.
Alrighty. Thank you so much po again, Doc Ferdy. And Sister Jordan, I think we learned not just one or two, but a lot of things to get ready, with our health, recovery and rest, and all that kind of stuff. So how about you? How are you gonna, use this for your cold that's going on right now?
Yes, the whole time I'm listening to Dr. Ferdy, I'm like sighing because I'm like, man, I'm not doing these things. Like, yes,
Now you know what you did wrong.
Yes, just reminding me all the things that I need to be doing correctly and not wrong, because this is my tissues. This roll of time. Because you want to know why I used up all of my tissues because of this congestion that's been lasting. But I've definitely learned more than a few tips to help me. And hopefully by the next broadcast, you will see me up to my good health thanks to Dr. Ferdy's tips. Alrighty. I'm super excited to hear what we have going on next week, Sister Maylene.
Yeah, so for next week, we are still talking about, I think Ate Marie will be producing our next week's show. So it's the same time, same channel here on INC Radio, Mountain States. And also, I think we have final shout outs and greetings here. Let's just extend them to Ate Donna Grace Palisok, to Brother Justin Ramos. He was like, I watch MTS Radio to prepare for the cooler weather. And
we also have one more from Sister Zenaida Novisteras. Hello po, MTS greetings from Midtown Toronto, District of Greater Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, and from Ate Shay Chavez, thank you so much po, Ka Ferdy, for the information, hashtag Las Vegas. Thank you, Brother Andrew and Sister Lorraine from Virginia for joining us today, to Kuya Arch Christian Roda and Kuya Mario Oka for supporting us today too. So yeah.
Thank you all of you guys for joining us in our live chat. Thank you so much, Sister Mai, for reading all of those. We have, of course, more acknowledgements, which is Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Aranio Manalo, our SEBC CEO and President, CFO Coordinator. Thank you so much, po. Brother Marlon Balason, our new District Minister here in the District of Mountain States. Brother Oliver Canlas, our Assistant District Minister. Brother Jay Agustin, our CFO Overseer. And of course,
Brother Jay.
Hello, Brother Jay.
Welcome back.
New CFO Overseer. And of course, all the avid listeners and viewers of INC Radio, thank you so much again for joining us here today. This, unfortunately, is all the time we have, but thank you so much for watching and listening to INC Radio Mountain States Satellite Studio broadcast. This is INC Radio, DZEM 954, changing lives through God's words. Up next is INC Radio Canada. Woo woo!
Yay!
Thank you so
all.
much,
Thank you,
everyone.
for taking care of
Thank you,
us.
everyone.
Let
Have
me
Yes,
promote
thank you,
my
Dr.
show for
Ferdy,
Monday
so
through
much.
Friday. We have the Next Level You here on INCRadio. It's 7 a.m. our time. So if you're an early bird, join us 7 a.m. Monday to Friday. The Next Level You.
Level You.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jack.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful seeing all of you guys. Missed you guys so
Ferdy,
much.
thank you so much po.
Thank you,
And Sis
Dr.
Ruby.
Ferdy.
You're welcome po. Thank you po for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Brady.
We're excited for the cool weather now.
Yeah.
We're ready.
I'll be stocking up on my tissues.
Thank you, everyone. Happy
We'll be better.
Saturday.
We'll be better.
Yes.
See you next week.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.